Okay, I'm trying to predict when every UFC champion will retire. I will start it off with Islam Makhachev. I honestly think he will have no more than 3 fights. I think he's fighting Usman next. And listen, at first, I was kind of opposed to him fighting Usman. But listen, man, like you gotta give it up. Stop being a fake hardcore for a second and just appreciate it, man. Usman versus Makhachev is a great fight. Usman is back. He is not washed. Kinda is, but let's just ignore that. In a few years, when you're looking back at Makhachev, do you want to say, oh, he beat Ian Gary, or do you want to say he beat Kamaruddin, the Nigerian nightmare Usman? You know, like, I think Usman's up next. As much as people will hate on this, I do think it's a great fight. It's a good legacy fight. And after that, we can have him fight Ian Gary. We can have Michael Morales get another win, and then Michael Morales fights him, and then he retires. I think this is the most realistic roadmap of Makhachev. However, I would not be surprised if he retires immediately after beating Usman. This would honestly not surprise me. Khabib also retired a bit early, but for other reasons. And yeah, I think Islam Makhachev has minimum 1 more fight, but maximum 3 more fights. I cannot see him go past 3 more fights because he's not the youngest. He is 34 and he's at welterweight, where people don't usually get that old. Okay, next up, we're not really going by chronological order, but Volkanovski is fighting tomorrow, and I would not be surprised if this is the last time we see Volk fight. Maybe he wins this one, then goes for another one, tries to beat another new age fighter, then he retires, or then he should retire. Honestly, problem is, I can see Volk just not retiring because a lot of people already wanted to see him stop after fighting Topuria and Islam and getting knocked out back to back. But then he came back, showed us who he still is. And a problem is I could just see this guy not accepting that he should retire. Like, he shouldn't retire at the moment, but if he doesn't retire in the next 2 fights, it's gonna be a bit grim. Honestly, Volk is so hard to predict because he will, mark my words, he will either retire in the next 2 fights, or he's gonna have like 5 or 6 more fights. Like, there's nothing in between. He will either retire in 1 or 2 fights or just have way too many, go on a losing streak, and then kinda, okay, I should retire. Next up, we have Piotr Jan. I think Piotr has like 5 to 6 fights left. I hope he beats Merab in the trilogy. I hope he beats O'Malley, but you can see the problem. I don't think Jan's title reign, his second title reign, will be too long. And maybe, usually, when fighters like lose their title, when it takes them a while to get it back, their second title reign isn't that long. Like, look at Izzy. We all thought, oh no, the second title reign has started. He's knocked out Pereira. And then he immediately lost 3 fights in a row. So I think Piotr Jan, he will defend the title 1 or 2 times, probably. But I can see Piotr Jan losing the title and still going at it, still having some fun fights against like a Song Yadong. Like, I know they already fought. But could you not just see Jan when he's like 36, still on a fight night in the co-main event, still fighting against like a newcomer? I can just see that way too well. And yeah, let's move on from Piotr Jan to another boxing specialist, Ilia Topuria. And I think Ilia Topuria is not gonna give us a lot, honestly. I'm saying Ilia will give us around 3 more fights because he's not very active, and I do see him kind of going the McGregor route, like being off, doing something else, not really focusing on the UFC, coming back, starching someone, or maybe losing. I do have trouble imagining Ilia retiring without a single loss. I'm gonna be honest about that. Unless he just retires after beating Gaethje. Okay, then he retires undefeated. But I think in his next 3 to 4 fights, he will lose one. And I'm not sure if he will show up again afterwards. I can see him losing a fight, showing up afterwards, KOing someone and saying, hey, okay, that's it for me, I'm done. Like, he just wanted to go after getting a knockout. But yeah, Topuria is really not very active. He has himself admitted that he wants to retire very early. He doesn't plan on sticking in this game for way too long. And he's a huge star in Georgia. He's a huge star in Spain. Like, you saw him with the Real Madrid players. If you're from the US, you don't know what I'm talking about. Real Madrid is like the most prestigious, most well-loved, most popular, most accomplished team in the football or soccer, as you call it, history. And he's over there kicking it, sharing his belt with like legends. So yeah, Ilia Topuria, I don't think he's gonna keep going too long, especially because of the problems he's having right now with the divorce, which just sucks, to be honest. I really hope he relinquishes the belt, by the way, for the moment, because I am so worried for Ilya. I'm not even a huge Ilya Topuria fan, if you ask me. Like, I was super upset when he TKO'd Max Holloway. And against Volk, he was kind of annoying too. Against Charles, yeah, fair play. But I really hope that Ilya just relinquishes the belt for now, focuses on his family, on what he has to do outside of the octagon. Because a lot of people have been making memes how he's going to destroy Justin Gaethje because of a divorce and not being able to see his kids. But I think, yeah, that could happen. But the other option that I see happening is just Ilya not having his head in the game and being too focused on, or you can't be too focused on family, but not being focused enough on MMA and just kind of letting it slide and then getting caught by Gaethje, getting TKO'd. Like, this can break a man, honestly, what Ilya is going through. So honestly, I hope he just, for now, says, hey, UFC, strip me off the belt. I'm not going to fight. I have some stuff to figure out first. I would love for him to come back, have like 2 to 4 fights, and then just retire. But yeah, I'm giving Topuria 5 fights max, and I even think it's going to be more around 4. Now, next up, we have Khamzat Chimaev. And Khamzat Chimaev, listen, man. Khamzat is gonna fight a few times. I don't think he will keep going for long. And I know this video right now sounds a bit repetitive with me saying that everyone's gonna retire kinda in a few fights, besides Petr Yan. I think Petr Yan will have like 5 fights. But Khamzat Chimaev, there were already like rumors that he's gonna retire if he wins the belt. And Khamzat himself said that's not true. But in my opinion, where there is smoke, there is usually also fire. So, Khamzat Chimaev, I do still think he's gonna have at least 3 more fights. And listen, before you start hating on my boy, Khamzat gets so much hate for being an inactive champion. Well, bro, he just became champion. And I think he's gonna do a lot better now, because he himself has admitted that he hasn't been very active and he wants to be more active. Right now, he has to go through some surgeries. And also Ramadan is coming up, so he will not fight in the first half of this year, or at least not until March. But I could totally see him fight in April, June, or July. So I am calling it right now. Khamzat is going to fight this year again, and then in 2027 he will fight twice. I'm 100% confident about that. And that for me says that Khamzat is going to have at least 3 more fights, maybe even 4 or 5. Especially if they do like an Abu Dhabi card where you can get Khamzat easily, and in Abu Dhabi you have like the plot armor if you're like a brother guy, and he could get another easy victory there in my opinion. So Khamzat has 3 to 5 fights left in my opinion, and I think it's gonna be, if I had to put a bet in with money, I would say he has 4 fights left. Now next up, Alex Pereira, and I think Alex Pereira has 5 to 6 fights left. And I don't think Pereira will have a beautiful retirement, to be honest. Because Alex Pereira, I think he's gonna fight again this year. And then I do see him at the end of the year moving up to heavyweight to fight Aspinall. Maybe Cyril Gane gets it done, but I think Aspinall in the rematch will be very angry, very annoyed, and beat Cyril Gane. At least I hope so, otherwise I will look like an idiot. But yeah, Pereira's gonna move up. I don't think he can become a champion at heavyweight, but honestly, Pereira has done a lot of things I thought he couldn't do. So if he becomes a champion at heavyweight, that would be amazing. But I think that's one step too far, especially because he's also fighting against guys who can strike, who are not blobs, and who will just be bigger and stronger than him. And I'm saying Pereira does not manage to become a heavyweight champion, then goes back down to light heavyweight, and Pereira is not young at all. And I think in his next 5 to 6 fights, and I think from now on we have to enjoy every Alex Pereira win, because I think he is gonna lose to a heavyweight, then go back down to light heavyweight, lose there again, and then he may get 1 or 2 knockouts, lose again. Like, I can see Alex Pereira in the next year going 1-1, like 1 win, 1 loss. But if he keeps going in 2027, 2028, I can see the losses kind of adding up and being more than the wins, because he's not the youngest. He already is a double champion in kickboxing, double champion in MMA, or not double champion, but 2 division champion. And I just believe that Pereira has taken too much damage over the years to keep going for way longer. So yeah, Alex Pereira has, I think, around 5 fights left. Okay, next up, the heavyweight champion, Tom Aspinall. I think Tom is still gonna go for a long time. I think he's like 30, 31, 32. He's a heavyweight, and as a heavyweight, you can go into your unk years. You can just stack up money, become a blob when you become older. And I think Tom Aspinall is gonna have a very long career, and I would be very surprised if he has less than 8 fights. Because even if Tom gets like shot down from the heavyweight title picture, even if he loses, maybe not to Gan, but down the line, if he loses the championship, I think he will keep going for a long time. He is always good for like a Europe event, for an event in the UK. You can always chuck him in on the main card because he's gonna be spectacular. You can give him the rematch with Marcin Tybura. He's a great fight. You can always give him a fight against like some random unranked or low ranked heavyweight. He will get them out of there very early, or it will at least be entertaining. And yeah, Tom Aspinall is gonna go for a long time in my opinion, and I would be extremely surprised to see him retire before getting 8 more fights in total. I don't think these 8 fights will all be for a title, but unless otherwise he's the heavyweight GOAT, okay? But I don't think that's gonna happen. Even though he could become the heavyweight GOAT, I don't know. Maybe let's just see. But yeah, I think Tom Aspinall, you're gonna see a lot of this guy. He's not going anywhere. And next up, another guy who's gonna become an absolute veteran of the sport is Joshua Van. In my opinion, he will have at least 10 fights, even I'd say, because he's still young. He probably wants to be active. And listen, man, this guy is 24. He's gonna have 10 fights. Like, it's just at least 10 fights. I don't think all 10 of those will be for the title. I can see him losing the title a bit early, to be honest, and then going kind of like on a 50-50 run, like winning 1, losing 1, or winning 2, losing 1. Like, I can see him losing the title early and then just fighting like randoms, a bit like Aljo, and maybe he reclaims the title, maybe he doesn't and just remains an elite featherweight. But Joshua Van is gonna have the most fights out of this list logically, and after that is Tom Aspinall. And I think the other guys, really, the finish line isn't too far away, especially for Islam Makhachev. I'm very sure Islam Makhachev is gonna time his retirement very well, and I would not be surprised if he retires after beating Usman. But Volkanovski, he's either gonna retire tomorrow or after his next fight, or he's just gonna keep going for way too long. It's just too unpredictable with Volko, in my opinion. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. Who do you want to see retire? Who should go on longer in your opinion? And take care, everyone. Goodbye.